Congratulations, you have made it halfway through the course. You're now on week 5. So, welcome to week 5 of Dating and Intimate Relationships. We have a little cameo today of my daughter's cat. This is Artemis, 18-pound cat. Yes, he usually makes a cameo at some point during the semester, so here he is today. Okay, so y'all are doing much better on referring back to information from the text and using that as a reference to support your opinions. I love hearing your opinions, but I love when you connect it to the information that you find in the textbook. Okay, so this week we're going to be focusing on chapters 9 and 10, looking at marriage versus cohabitation, as well as starting to look at parenting. So for week 9, your your discussion board is looking at the pros and cons of cohabitation versus marriage. Again, giving your opinion, but also supporting that with information from the text. Feel free to give examples without any names of people that you know, both pro and con. But remember, just because you know somebody that cohabitated for 20 years and they've lived happily ever after doesn't necessarily mean that's the norm. So it's great that you have these examples, and I encourage you to share examples if you have some, but also keep in mind that just because you've got an example, that doesn't necessarily prove that that's the best way to do things. So keep an open mind, and as y'all discuss this in the discussion board, it'll be interesting to kind of see your different experiences and your different examples and your different opinions, as long as they're supported with information from the text. Okay, so then chapter 10, you're going to look at parenting. And so the first thing that you're going to do is, for your discussion board, I'm going to have you write out a job description for parents. What kinds of things, if you were going to get licensed to be a parent, or if you were going to have to apply to be a parent, what kind of qualifications would be important for becoming a parent? And then look and see how realistic and reasonable those are. We oftentimes talk about how there needs to be some kind of standard, but how do you enforce that? How do you make sure that that actually happens? And who's in charge of making sure that that actually happens? We definitely have agencies in place to take care of it when parenting goes wrong and there's abuse, etc. But what do you do when you just have goofy parents? How do you handle that? And is that okay? And how do they meet the qualifications or do they not? And what kinds of things are important? And then finally, for your journal entry, this is going to be interesting. I want you to research how much it costs to have a baby, not to actually give birth to the baby, but to feed the baby. Let's just assume you're not breastfeeding. Let's assume that you're using formula and that you're using diapers and that you need daycare. So based on those 3 assumptions, formula, diapers, and daycare, what does it cost to have a baby? So look at 2 different sources. You can look at 2 different grocery stores. You can look online. You can research the different daycares. And so in your journal, you're going to really report what does that cost look like on a weekly basis as well as on a monthly basis, and then kind of analyze that a little bit. So what is the total going to look like? What are you going to do if your child gets sick? How are you going to, what's the backup plan for that? What if you have low income and you can't afford quality daycare? What are your options as a result? So it'll be interesting for you to kind of take a look at what does it actually cost once you've delivered that baby to then raise that baby, especially during those first few years when they're formula and diapers and daycare and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, hope everyone is doing well. I've been enjoying getting to know you through your discussion posts. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will look forward to reading all of your answers and your opinions supported by the text throughout the week. Have a great one.